Here is your full, long, emotional story written exactly as you requested. Strong hook, smooth pacing for a 40-minute YouTube narration, deep emotions, relatable characters, inspiring ending, and a natural call to action for viewers. Plain paragraphs, no headings. The restaurant door swung open with a loud chime, and that's when everything changed, because a little girl, barely 6, tugged her mother's trembling hand and whispered loud enough for the entire room to hear, "Mom, let's go. He looks nice, maybe he's the one." Every head turned, and the man sitting alone at the far table, the one looking like a CEO straight out of a magazine, froze with surprise. He didn't expect company. He didn't expect hope. And he certainly didn't expect the little girl to run toward him as if fate had pushed her. If you're watching this, keep your eyes on the screen till the end, because what happened next will move your heart. And hey, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel because stories like these deserve to be heard. Mira had spent the whole day convincing herself she shouldn't go. She was a single mom. The world had already shown her enough storms. Blind dates. Those were for people who still believed life played fair. But her daughter, Hannah, bright-eyed, brave, and stubborn in the sweetest way, had insisted, climbing onto her lap earlier that afternoon. "Mommy, what if this time is different? What if someone wants both of us?" Her voice cracked when she said it, because even a child could feel the silence of an empty home. Samira agreed, not because she expected love, but because she couldn't bear dimming her daughter's hope. But the moment they stepped into the upscale restaurant, Mira wanted to run back. Her thrift store dress suddenly felt too plain. Her hands were dry and cold. She was sure the man would take one look at her and send her away. Except he didn't, because little Hannah marched right up to him and announced, "Hi. Are you my mom's date?" The man choked on his water. His name was Adrian Ward. Every business site in the city knew him as the single dad CEO who built an empire from nothing after losing his wife years ago. He wasn't the type to go on dates. His assistant had practically forced him. He looked at the two strangers, confused, but his eyes softened when he met Hannah's. "Yes," he said gently, though he clearly had no idea what was happening. "I suppose I am." Mira flushed crimson. I'm so sorry, she shouldn't have." But he shook his head, stood up, and smiled, warmly, genuinely. "I'm glad you came." That was the beginning. They sat together, awkward at first. Mira couldn't stop fidgeting with her sleeves. Adrian kept glancing at his watch, not because he wanted to leave, but because he didn't know how to behave anymore. It had been years since he'd seen a woman look at him without seeing his bank account first. Hannah solved everything. She talked. A lot. About school, about how her mom worked 2 jobs, about how she wished they had someone who stayed for dinner. Every word cut Mira inside, but Adrian listened like every sentence mattered. Then halfway through the meal, something unexpected happened. The restaurant door opened again. A tall, sharply dressed woman entered, Adrian's original date. The one he had cancelled on. She spotted him, and stormed over. "So this is why you skipped dinner with me," she snapped. "For some cheap charity project. With a kid." The room froze. Hannah flinched. Myra's face turned pale. But Adrian, calmly stood up. He didn't raise his voice. He didn't cause a scene. But the steel in his tone shook the table. "Don't talk about them like that. Not now. Not ever." The entire restaurant went silent. He turned to Mira and kneeled slightly so he could meet Hannah's eyes. "I'm sorry you had to hear that. You both deserve better." The woman scoffed and walked away, heels clacking like broken pride. Mira blinked hard, trying not to cry. "You didn't have to defend us." "Yes," he said softly, "I did." What was meant to be a short, awkward dinner turned into hours of conversation, real conversation. Mira told him about her struggles, about working at a cafe in the mornings and cleaning offices at night. She told him how she left a toxic relationship to protect her daughter, even though it meant starting from ground zero. Adrian told her about his late wife, about raising his son Liam alone, about burying himself in work because it was easier than healing. 2 broken stories. 1 table. Unexpected comfort. Then, as the restaurant lights dimmed and the night grew colder, Mia clutched her coat. "Thank you, I should get Hannah home." "Let me drive you," Adrian offered. She refused, out of habit. But Hannah reached up and took his hand. "One ride won't hurt, Mom." And it didn't.